again, it's Mr. Stewart from Read 20. I have another fantastic story for you today. Nightsong. This is a wonderful story about finding the courage that it will take for you to make your own way in the world. Trust me, you will have some good assistance. Your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your brothers and sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, they all will help you learn and grow, to learn the skills you need to be successful in the world. This is a marvelous story written by Ari Berk and illustrated by the illustrious Lauren Long. It's Nightsong. Does anybody want to try and guess why a story about a little bat is called Nightsong? There's a reason for that. But here's how our story begins. The sun had set, and the shadows clinging to the walls of the cave began to wake and whisper. "Chiro, little wing," the bat mother said to her child. "Tonight, you must fly out into the world, and I will wait here for you." "But the night is dark, Mama, darker than a moth's dark eyes. Darker even than the water before dawn," the little bat exclaimed, twitching his ears this way and that. "I know," whispered his mother. "And when it's that dark outside, I can't always see," Chiro admitted, stretching his wings. And she told him, "Well, you know, there's other ways to see. There's other ways to help you make your way in the world." "Really? How?" And then she said, "Well, use your good sense." And the little bat asked, "What is sense, Mama? Good sense? What is that?" His mother folded him in her wings and whispered into his waiting ears. "Sense is the song you sing out into the world, and the song the world sings back to you. Sing, and the world will answer, and that is how you will see. Now, fly from our cave down to the pond where we like to eat breakfast. Eat your breakfast and then fly home, but don't go farther than the pond, not unless your song is sure." And then she let him go. "Ah!" And Chiro fell into the cold air for an instant, and then flapped and turned and flew out past the mouth of the cave, out into the waiting night. At first, Chiro tried to peer his way through the dark to see. He could kind of make out these long arms rising up in front of him, waving slowly but blocking his path. He could not see around them or over them, and Chiro was frightened. But then he remembered his mother's bright words. "Use your good sense," she said. So Chiro began to sing, softly at first. See his song going out? But then he sang more surely. His song flew ahead of him, and soon he could hear something singing back. Tall trees called out to him. They chanted their lengths and the girths of their rough trunks, and then gleefully he flew through the woods, past the pines, over the maples, and on toward the pond. Flying higher now, Chiro saw something sliding through the sky, coming towards him. So out went his song. Yee! And where danger once threatened, now Chiro saw only a flock of friends flying above him on their evening errands. I'm going to go with geese here. As he flew farther, Chiro heard strange sounds. Lines of noise, 1,000 voices buzzing from one end of the sky to the other, and for just a moment he didn't know what to do or which way to go. But then he followed his own song. In the sky behind him flowed a river of whispers, fading away. He knew the pond was just ahead. Yes, it was a river of whispers, buzzing from one end of the sky to the other. Power lines. Game over. When Chiro came to the pond, singing still, he was very hungry. All of the night creatures were there above the reeds, thousands of tasty, tiny, flying things, each one humming a different tune. But for Chiro, each of their songs sounded like breakfast. And yes, Chiro ate well that night. When he was full, he stretched his wings again, and he thought about flying home, but he started to wonder, just a little, what lay beyond the pond? What lay beyond his mother's words? What's on the other side of those trees over there? So Chiro flew a bit farther, and everything familiar fell away from him. He flew out to the margins of the world he knew, and for the first time ever, he was truly on his own. How do you think he feels right now? A little scared, a little excited. Chiro flew fast toward a high sand dune, each grain of sand calling out in a chorus as he passed. Chiro flapped up and over the top of the dunes and out over the strand, singing louder than he had ever sang before. Out went his song over the dark water, then again and again, each wave on the ocean rising up to greet him, each splash of sea foam becoming kin to him. The sky began to change, grow light, and the light cast long shadows out over the shore. With the morning light came a memory, his mother's voice, her warm wings, and Chiro knew that it was time for him to go home. Flying higher than he had ever flown, Chiro began to sing and listen. Sing and listen. The music of the land rose up in all of its many textures. It's like he could hear every tree, each cliff, each place he had passed before, until finally the song of his home added its voice to the others. His cave called out to him from the blanketing shrubs and pillows of moss at its mouth. And Chiro followed that familiar sound back into the sheltering earth. His mother caught him all up in her wings, and she said, "Oh, Chiro, was it very dark in the world tonight? Was it dark out there, little wing? What did you see?" And he said, "Well, Mama, yeah, it was very, very dark. And I saw everything." And then he yawned and turned his head into the warmth of her body. And together they let the rising sun's quiet song sing them both to sleep. The end. All right. I hope you can understand now why I said that this was a story of courage, of how each of us has to find the skills and the abilities and the strength to make our own way in the world. All right, thank you guys for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed our story. On behalf of Read 20 and the Readmobile, I hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you soon.